What's up, you guys? It's Cody. Now imagine having a guitar that you never have to tune again. Well, it's here, and the system is called the Evertune Bridge. From the very first time I heard about this, I knew I had to have one. I picked one up about a year ago, and it has been the best guitar purchase I have ever made. As a musician who plays live and someone who plays in studio a lot and records a lot of guitars, it is always such a pain having to worry about whether or not my guitar is in tune. And now that I don't have to worry about that anymore, it's allowed me to focus more on the music and the creative process behind it, not only when writing, but also when recording and playing live. It's just one less stress that I have. As always, if you are new to the channel, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button really quick. Now, what is Evertune and what is this amazing thing that never goes out of tune? Well, it's not some digital system or auto-tune guitar like we've seen in the past. This is actually a physical bridge that replaces the normal bridge in your guitar. It uses a combination of springs to balance out the tension of the strings to give you perfect intonation and perfect tuning every single time you pick up the guitar. Any guitar player knows that guitars often have sharp spots on them. Normally, once you get over the 12th or 15th fret, the guitar starts to go sharp, and sometimes that first fret can be out of tune, and that's no longer an issue with the Evertune Bridge. Now, I think where this guitar really thrives is in a studio setting. If you've ever recorded guitars in studio before, you know that most of the time is spent tuning. After every single take almost, it seems that you have to retune your guitar because you have fresh strings and they're slowly stretching out, and it's so important that when you're stacking lots of rhythm guitars that they're perfectly in tune. I've worked on some sessions where we spent a whole day recording guitars and then came back the next day and realized a few of them were out of tune and have had to start from scratch. There's nothing more frustrating than realizing your guitars are out of tune after a perfect take. When I picked up my Evertune guitar, my plan was to use it strictly for studio, and I wasn't too sure exactly how I was gonna like it and if I was gonna use it all the time, but after the first couple days of using it, I fell in love. I tuned it the first day I got it with a fresh set of strings, and I didn't have to retune for the rest of that session. It absolutely blew my mind. Now, this has actually been really beneficial for me live as well. Every day when you pick up your guitar, it's normally gonna be completely out of tune if it's sat in a trailer overnight. Not to mention, you're going through different regions of different temperatures and different humidities, and these all have horrible effects on a guitar that throw it completely out of tune. But since the Evertune Bridge uses springs to read the tension of the string, no matter what the temperature's like or what the humidity is or what has happened to your guitar overnight, it's always going to be in tune. I've even flown with this guitar and taken it up to 30,000 feet and then back down and open it up a week later and it's still in tune. It blows my mind. I don't know exactly how they do it, but Evertune is doing something right with this bridge. There's nothing better than picking up your guitar, plugging it in on stage, and knowing that it's going to be in tune every single time. Now, as I mentioned, the Evertune guitar isn't a robot guitar. It doesn't tune itself. You still manually do need to tune it, but once you set it, it's done. It uses a 2.5mm Allen key, which they do send with you, but you can use any 2.5mm Allen wrench and it will work just fine. And the great thing is, this entire guitar is set up with this one Allen key. As you're tuning the guitar, it's so incredibly easy to adjust not only the intonation, but the action of the strings as well. I was never really one to set up my own guitars before getting the Evertune. I had played around with it, but I normally got professionals to do it, just because I thought they did a better job than me and it was worth the money. But with the Evertune, I'm so confident setting up the guitar myself. It's so easy to do, and you get perfect intonation and great action every single time. So not only is the Evertune Bridge worth it from a playing standpoint, but also in terms of setting it up. Now, one thing a lot of people get wrong about the Evertune Bridge is thinking that they're not able to bend with it, that it's always just gonna be stuck. A big problem when people are playing guitar, and the reason it goes out of tune when they're recording, is you get pressing so hard on the strings and you're strumming so hard that the strings start to bend and kind of go out of tune. So you can adjust it so that it doesn't go out of tune. You can bend the strings all you want and it's never going to go out of tune. This is great for doing any kind of heavy rhythm guitars or anytime you're stacking a lot of guitars where there's no bending and no leads, but sometimes you are going to want to be able to bend the strings. And luckily the Evertune system allows you to do that. You can tension up the string right to the point where it starts to go out of tune and adjust how far you need to pull your fingers so that you can create a bend. This allows you perfect intonation through those heavy strumming parts, but still the ability to play all the tasty licks that you need to. Have you ever heard of or thought about buying an Evertune Bridge before? If so, drop a like down below and let me know. The Evertune Bridge is by far one of the coolest pieces of gear available for guitar players right now. I highly recommend it for anybody who records a lot of guitar or for any guitarist who plays live often. I'd personally much rather spend 5 minutes being creative and writing a song than spending 5 minutes tuning my guitar. This to me is by far one of the coolest pieces of gear available, and I think it's only going to grow with time. I think this is one of those pieces of gear that is worth saving up for and adding to your repertoire. Not only because it's going to save you a ton of time, but it's going to help with the creative process in general. This is hands down the best thing I've purchased recently, and I'd recommend it for every guitar player out there. Anyways, guys, I hope this video has been helpful. Drop a comment down below if you're thinking about picking up an Evertune guitar, and as always, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more of my videos. Peace.